Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sports Today. And Australia win the ODI series. And this one was a mammoth total they put in front of India, 390 to chase. I mean, they went a step ahead from the previous ODI and, of course, dominated in all three departments, fielding, bowling, and batting, whereas the Indian batters did show intent. India lost the match by just 51 runs. There was intent there, but the bowlers is where I think the question mark arises. I've got Deepdas Gupta and Pragyan Mujra joining me. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
I think we can smile. You know, it's fine. it's still a good day. We can all smile, but yeah,
it's been a good day, Ridhima. I think there are a lot of positives if you think about it. Obviously, yes, the bowling wasn't that great again, but Hardik bowled. The batters did well. I mean, they took that match actually close enough. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for positives, there were a few. It's not a completely lost cause. This is how I would like to see it.
No, absolutely. Like I said, there was the intent that the Indian team showed. And Pragyan, Hardik bowling, Mayank also given a chance. So that's a positive there that they're trying various combinations out there.
Yeah, for me, it will be like just ticking the box. It was just Hardik bowling. That's a good thing. That's all I can say. But he was more of like a pollard. You know, I tweeted about it.
Yes,
saying that he was just trying to, you know, given those 2-3 overs, but it's not the same Hardik. And as a cricket fan or a person who follows Indian cricket very closely, I believe we should not be pushing him too hard, because we could see that, you know, that injury is still in his head. You know, he was bowling more of those cutters. He was bowling at say from 112 to 120. That was his range, most of the deliveries. And normally we have seen these were his variation. He used to bowl 140. That's the reason we used to talk about Hardik's bowling, but this is not his bowling. It is just that, you know, I'm not trying to criticize him. I'm just telling you what Hardik Pandya does for you. You know, this is not the Hardik that we have seen. So we should not be pushing him. He is very important for us. We can look for different options, but you know, I could not relate with the post-match press conference that Hardik has said. You know, he said clearly that he is trying to plan himself, you know, prepare himself for the World Cups or maybe important tournaments. He's not trying to rush to things. But the next day we see him come and bowl those overs. So it was a desperate move. That's what I felt.
No, I think, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Ridhima. If I may add,
Sure.
listen up. I understand what Pragyan is saying, but I also have kind of reduced my expectations from Hardik the bowler. I don't think he'll come back and bowl the same way he used to. I honestly believe that. I also think that he's trying to change his action. Didn't see too much of change. I was just trying to see, and it's very limited that you can see on television, whether his back foot was the toe was pointing more towards the batsman or not, was it perpendicular to the popping crease or not. But I know for a fact that he's trying to change his action. But even then, I don't think that we'll ever get to see Hardik bowling 140. I mean, at least that my expectations I've kept it a little low. As long as he can contribute with 5-6 overs. Sorry, Pragyan, if I may just add one more thing.
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
Yeah, if you also look at the surface today and the last game, Stoinis was bowling well and he was bowling slower. Cummins bowled well, he was bowling slower. Cummins bowled a lot of slow deliveries, especially when the ball got a little older. And Hardik, if you look at how I mean, the faster the bowlers tried to bowl and they went for runs. So I thought on this surface, bowling slower was the way to go about.
Yeah, you know, when we talk about this surface, yes, slower one is a variation, but that's a variation. But when your slower one becomes your go-to ball, then you know, you need to think about it, because as a spinner, my strength is to flight the ball and turn the ball. But if my go-to ball is a Yorker or a arm ball, then there is something wrong with the fundamental. So yes, as you said, Deepai, you know, we can expect expect Hardik to bowl 140. But at the same time, I don't want to see Hardik bowling at this pace, because at this pace, then after a certain time, you will be looking for another option, because you will be needing someone who can bowl at least 130, 135. You know, that is the minimum pace that you require from your sixth bowler when you're playing abroad. This wicket was helping the seamers when they were mixing the pace, because of the two pace of the wicket is just holding up a bit when you're bowling slow. But in long run, this is not the solution. This is not the solution. You give Hardik some time, at least let him get back to his proper fitness, bowling fitness. Then we can judge him. I'm not judging him with this bowling. I won't say he's back with the ball. It was good to see, but more than Hardik ready, I thought this was a desperate move, because our bowlers were not bowling the way we were expecting them to bowl. So that's the reason Mayank came and bowl, and then Hardik was given the ball.
Yeah. So, I mean, not only these two matches, of course, we've got like two consecutive matches where the bowlers have conceded 350 plus runs, but also we've got it happening in the comment section that bowling has become a serious concern. And here's something. In the last 14 games, we've taken only 5 wickets in the power play. Also in like 978 match ODI history. 3 consecutive games where the opening partnership conceded 100 plus runs. So in general, bowling has become a bit of a concern, which also our comment section is buzzing with. Gentlemen, a word on that? Anyone would like to start?
I think we have. If you look at our bowling, it is like we used to depend on Bhuvi a lot to get those wickets, because he used to swing the ball. Bumrah used to hit the deck and used to bowl, because he's a hit the deck kind of a bowler. Shami also, he was a hit the deck kind of a bowler. But you need a bowler who can swing the ball. We haven't seen the ball swinging around. The same thing Praveen Kumar used to do. He was successful in Australia. Bhuvi was successful in Australia, getting those early wickets for you in the power play. So maybe we can look to get someone who can swing the ball now, because when you look at even Australian bowling attack, when they were trying to hit the deck, they were not doing much. Only maybe they were trying to bounce our batsmen out. Apart from that, I think, and I still believe if India bats first, you will see a different approach, because both the team bowling department are at par. That's what I feel. Only the pressure here is of that 375 and 390.
90.
So that is what is making the difference here. I told you, toss is very crucial for this Indian team, because this series is after a long time. Nobody has played 50 overs cricket. In T20, if you see, every time our strategy is to give those single away, don't give big shots. But in 50 overs game, it's a longer format. You have to control those. You shouldn't be giving away those easy singles. You have to have a fielders close in. So there are a lot of difference. So it will take some time. Saying that, we need someone who can swing the ball. Need of the hour is where you have to look at a bowler who can get you those early wickets. So maybe you can try a swing bowler, because in Australia, Praveen Kumar and Bhuvi have been successful because they are swing bowlers. They never had pace, but they can swing the ball. So some backup plan for that.
Yeah, we really need wickets in the power play, Deep.
I mean, that's stating the obvious, isn't it? I mean, if you don't pick wickets, it doesn't matter who you're bowling against. It is Warner and Finch. It could be anyone else, and they'll be scoring runs. So bottom line is you've got to pick wickets, and you rightly mentioned. I mean, only 5 wickets in the power play in the last 14 games. That is a concern, and that's the reason. If you remember, post-match last game, I was talking about a change in bowling, and I mentioned about someone like Shardul Thakur, who brings a different dimension to that bowling attack. And as Pragyan mentioned, I mean, as of now, all 3 bowlers are hit the deck bowlers, whether it's Shami, whether it's Bumrah, and whether it's Navdeep Saini. You get Shardul in, maybe in place of Navdeep Saini, and he brings a different dimension. I'm not saying he's going to pick wickets, but he is one of those bowlers who has the ability to swing the ball. Having said that, in the last 2-3 years, Pragyan will also vouch for it. The ball hasn't swung. The white Kookaburra ball, which till 2015-16 swung quite a bit, at least in the first few overs. It has stopped swinging now. So I don't know how much of that will happen, the swing. But at least what you do is you get someone like Shardul who has the at least ability. If there is a little bit of swing available, he will get the ball to swing, is what I think. Someone like Shardul Thakur, or even someone like Deepak Chahar for that matter. Just
Yeah.
bring in a different dimension to the bowling attack. The other important thing, I was a little flabbergasted to see Shami bowling 2 overs, Bumrah bowling 2 overs. Listen, you've got to give the bowler some time to. I mean, we're talking about a 50-over game here. We're not talking about a 20-over game where you can't bowl more than 2 overs in a spell. So give them a 4-over spell, give them at least 4-over spell to kind of settle them down. They will also pick. I mean, will assess the batsman, have their own plans in place. But I was a little flabbergasted to see 2-over spells. I think Shami, or is it Bumrah, who bowled the first 4 overs in 3 spells? So that's something that I was a little taken aback. And mind you, they started off well. Today they were a lot more disciplined in the first spell, and I thought they would continue to bowl a few more overs in those spells. I mean, Shami was moved over. They changed ends. Bumrah again came in later. And that's where I thought could have continued with the bowlers. But I certainly do think that change in dimension, maybe someone like a Shardul Thakur or Deepak Chahar is someone that you can look into.
I was actually sort of flabbergasted to see Seri bowl the death. So I think that those extra runs that were given, I think there were back-to-back sixes, if I'm not wrong, or plenty of sixes that went on when Seri was bowling the death. So I don't know. What on that, Pragyan?
Yeah, I think it happens, when you see the score, it's already gone past 350. So I think the opponent is going to take you on, and the pressure is always on the bowler. I think it's a learning curve for Saini. And mind you, whatever we are discussing about the seamers or the change in the team, it's a good thing. But personally, I feel for the long run, for this series that we're playing in Australia, we should be going with the same team. Maybe one change. KL Rahul can open and give a chance to Manish Pandey, because KL Rahul is in good form and he can maximize his form there. Maybe last game you can try, but bowlers, you should give them chance, because you're looking at the test series. Maybe you can give a break in the T20 to your main bowlers, but when you talk about the test series, it is more important for these guys to play the matches, because match practice is very important. Get the feel of the ground, get the feel of that match sense. So this is very important. If they play more and more games there, they will get acclimatized, and that's what you want. Your bowlers, your players ready for the test series. See, now the practical thing is, you have lost the ODI. That's the reality. But you have to prepare yourself for the test matches. That is what everybody is counting on. So maybe give your bowlers more chance. You can give a break to them in the T20. You can afford to. But when you talk about the test match, these bowlers, they need long spells, and long spells can only happen during this ODI series, the last match, or maybe the practice game that they're going to play before the test matches. So you have to give your bowlers that number of overs. And Deepa will, I'm sure he'll agree with me. For a bowler, for any player, it's very important to have that match time. Spend those quality time in the middle. How much ever practice you do, how much ever net sessions you do, they're all secondary. The most important thing is the match fitness and the match awareness. I believe you should go with the same attack. Give your back your bowlers. Let them get the feel out of this. In something positive you have to get, because you have already lost the series. So the positive is you give confidence to your bowlers. These are the things which is very important when you're playing abroad.
Okay. We've got a question from one of our viewers. She's asking, is there a captaincy lapse? That's Divya Agarwal asking us that. Deep?
Yeah, as I mentioned, lapse in the sense, two overs. That's something that like I said, I was a little surprised. I thought they started off well. Both Bumrah and Sharma started off well. I don't know whether it was the bowler's call that they didn't want to go on, or was it the captain's call. I don't know, but I thought they would go on to bowl another couple of overs in that particular spell, because Finch was struggling a bit. They bowled really well to Finch. Warner got off to a brilliant start. There's no, I mean, he's in great form and he's playing in Sydney. But from that perspective, yes, I honestly thought that the first spell, because the first 10 overs are so important. You have to pick wickets. You have to find a way to pick wickets in the first 10. If you're not picking wickets, more often than not, you'll see 330, 340, 350 runs being scored. And against Australia, obviously, last couple of games, in 375 and 390.
What about you, Pragyan?
And the most important point is you should know how to use your bouncers. Bouncers, they have to be surprise element. I felt every time Indians were bowling a bouncer, Aussies were ready for it. But saying that, every time Indians were bowling up, even they trouble the batsman. You've seen David Warner waiting for those short deliveries and missing those half volleys at times, couple of balls. So I think we need to plan better on that, because we have got the stuff and we should know when to surprise them. The difference between our batting lineup and Aussies was, if you look at those just short of length, they were playing those cut shots and getting boundaries. But if you look at our batsmen, we are not used to play those shots. That is what Australians do. They play those cut shots, short arm cut shots. David Warner getting those boundary early on. The balls were very good. They were just short. Those delivery, we go and play in back foot, with the straight bat, but they cut it because they have played there. They know the bounce. They know exactly what the ball is going to do. I'll compare this with when India plays in India, on turning tracks. Our batsmen, they're very confident. They step out, they go to the ball, they play their shots. But if you look at the touring team, they're not confident. They don't step out easily. They have that anxiety about what is going to happen if the ball is turning. Same with when you go to Australia, it's their home side. They know the bounce. The difference is they are picking their boundary balls easily. And when we talk about our guys, they are taking a little more time. And most of them, I think this is for the first time. A couple of our batsmen are playing in Australia, so it will take some time for us to settle down. We must understand, this is a little young side when you talk about the batting lineup. So we have to, and saying that, we have done really well with the bat.
Yes.
So we have to consider, it's okay. Australia is a superior side and they look more superior because they have been getting those runs and winning the toss and batting. I still come back to the same point. Let India win the toss and bat first, then you will see the difference. Because when you put that 350, 360 score on the board, even the best of the sides will feel the pressure. That's how it is. It's been unfortunate that we haven't won the toss, but saying that, we need to give some time to our boys.
That's true. Fab points out there. What could have our batters have done better?
I think you can't really blame our batters. I mean, when you're chasing down,
no blaming them.
Sorry. I mean, maybe that didn't come out right. What I'm saying is, they did what they could. I mean, it could have been a different situation if they were chasing down 330, 340, even 350 for that matter. But 390, it's very difficult to kind of say anything as far as batting is concerned. I think both the games they were on course for a fairly decent number of overs. But then again, 375, 390 are huge scores. And I think it just boils down to a couple of things. Obviously, toss as Pragyan mentioned. But the other important thing, listen, you can't control the toss. You win some, you lose some. But end of the day, if you're bowling first, you have to find a way to, keep the opposition under check. I mean, 375. And you know what? I think if you're looking at the last 3-4 games, I think we've conceded over 300 runs in the last 4 ODIs that India has played.
350 plus. Yeah.
350 plus. There you go. So, I mean, so obviously there is a reason. I mean, there is a pattern, as I mentioned in the last game as well. You know, if it happens once, it's all right. You move on. Happens twice, you're like, okay, maybe you're not concerned, but you're still kind of thinking about it. But if it's happening that often, then obviously you have to start thinking about it. I mean, because it's starting to be a pattern now, right?
Yeah.
As you mentioned, 5 wickets in 14 games, 5 wickets in power play overs in the last 14 games. Now that's a pattern. Now that's something that you have to start thinking about. That's a concern now, and that's where I think you have to start finding options of picking wickets. If that means, because one thing we have to realize, and I'm sure we all do, that irrespective which format you're playing, if you're not picking wickets, you're not keeping the opposition quiet. No chance you're going to keep them quiet, whether it's T20, 50, or Test match cricket. So you have to pick wickets. So hence, you have to back your wicket-taking bowlers. I don't know. Maybe it's Kuldeep you want to back as a wicket-taking bowler. You want to back. Obviously, Bumrah is a wicket-taking bowler, and I mean it's not very often that he has two back-to-back off days. Mohammad Shami, wicket-taking bowlers, but you have to find a way to make sure that they are picking wickets. Have a chat with them. I don't mind they going for 8 runs and over, but as long as they are picking wickets, I'm fine with that. So you can't be going for 7 and over, 7.5 and over, and also not picking wickets. Now that is a concern.
All right.
Yeah, and also as just one point, as Deepai said, that the new ball, the new Kokobra ball after 2015 has not been giving you that kind of swing. But maybe when you look at IPL or the T20 format, we see the ball moving. We have seen the ball doing a bit. I think the Kokobra ball is doing a bit, but both the sides, they don't have swing bowlers. So once the swing bowlers they start bowling, maybe we'll see what the ball is doing. I was just analyzing both the team. They don't have a proper swing bowler. Maybe they are hit the deck kind of a bowler. If you see in Australia and India, but we've not seen a bowler, someone like say Bhuvi or Deepak Chahar bowling with the new ball, and the ball is not doing. Maybe you're right with that. I've seen the ball. Initially when we played with Kokobura, the seam was little up and the leather, that stitch was little up, which was helping the ball swing. But now it is gone. I don't know. They've compressed it, or maybe the seam is not evident that much.
Again, next time you check the new white cooker, also check the width of the seam.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's thinner and it easily. That's what I said. It is more compressed. There is no seam you can see. Initially, you could feel the seam, and it is more like a SG test ball. Similar. Now, I'm not talking about exact, but when you feel the seam, it is similar. Maybe that is the change they have done. But I'll be more interested in seeing if a Bhuvi or a Deepak Chahar or a swing bowler with the new ball. Let's see what they do. If they don't swing the ball, if the swing bowlers don't swing the ball, then that is a concern. But when you're talking about hit the deck bowler, obviously their strength is not swinging the ball. Their ball is they will just cut the ball, or maybe off the wicket the ball moves.
Yeah. Well, talking about strengths, gentlemen, let's shift gears to something that I'm pretty sure as cricket fans you've truly enjoyed is Australia batting. And I think ICC tweeted about it. That's just the second ODI where an entire top order has provided us with 50 plus runs. Steve Smith, David Warner, Aaron Finch, everybody, and a special word on Steve Smith. I think there was also a tweet which said that he's so brilliant that it's now boring to see that. So, it was amazing. Like, as a true cricket fan, that's sort of batting 390 plus runs, each and every person coming in providing those runs. A word on Warner, Finch, and Steve, gentlemen.
Warner, I'll tell you, he should not be playing the third game. He's out of the park. He should remain out of the park. Jokes apart, please, Deepai.
Listen. I mean, I don't want to. Warner being Warner, he's just and especially back in Australia, he's just unbelievable. The other important thing, I would love to see someone like a Chahal coming and bowling in the power play. I mean, listen, when the seamers were going for runs, I didn't see a spinner coming and bowling in the power play. Warner is good, Finch is very good against spin, but just give it a try. Give it a try. And those are the things. Those are small things which I would like to see Virat incorporate in his captaincy. Just change of plans, try and gamble at times. Let's see where it goes. Because anyways, the bowlers were going for 10 and over, 8 and over, 9 and over, whatever they were going for. Just give it a chance. But again, going back to their batting, I think that was phenomenal. Again, Steve Smith. I just find it's very difficult. I mean, Pragyan can throw some light on it. It's so difficult. It must be so difficult to bowl to him, because obviously he's got his orthodox shots, but he's also got these unorthodox shots. So Virat will play his orthodox shots. Virat, the shots that he's going to play. But with Steve Smith, he has this ability to hit balls in very weird areas of the field. Outside off stump, he'll flick it over fine leg, and again you bowl there, then he'll hit a proper orthodox cover drive again. So it's very difficult, I guess, Pragyan, to bowl to someone like Steve Smith, who's again who keeps moving a lot in the crease. You never know which part of the ground he's going to hit. So if there is an orthodox batsman playing only orthodox cricketing shots, you have some kind of an idea, where you can stop him, where you can bowl, areas you can, just give a single and get him on the non-striker's end. But with Steve Smith, we don't know what he can produce and which shot he's going to play. Orthodox, unorthodox. He's going to ramp shot one ball, and the very next ball he'll go on the back foot and hit a cracking back foot cover drive, same delivery. So it must be so difficult to bowl to him, Pragyan.
Yeah, Deepai, saying that I had the opportunity of bowling to Steve Smith, one in the IPL and one against Australia in Chandigarh. My plan was for a batsman who's so good. You should not be giving them easy singles. That is how you have to put your field. Both the time he was stumped only because I was not giving him easy singles. That's what you can do, because these kind of batsmen, once they're set, they will take singles of good deliveries and bad deliveries. Obviously, they'll put it out of the park. So you have to let them take those chances of hitting big shots and not give them those easy singles. That's when they're not comfortable. It's very simple. For a bowler or a batsman, you just take them out of their comfort zone. That's when once a player goes from his plan A to plan B, he is not comfortable. That is for sure. That is why we call it a plan B. So you should make sure you have to put the best of the players, think about their plan B, because their plan A is not working. Without taking any credit out of Steve Smith, but that is one thing you can do, because you see all the good deliveries, he used to get those singles. And maybe, at times, some deliveries that he used to play extraordinary shots and convert those, but make sure you don't give them easy singles, these kind of players. I'll give you one example, Deepai and Ridhima. You look at the field set Zampa had against KL Rahul. When KL Rahul got out, he had deep covers, long off, and three fielders, like a T20 kind of a field, and he was challenging KL Rahul to go over mid wicket. I think when you're bowling against someone like Steve Smith or someone like say Maxwell or other batsmen, you have to change your field. Let them go over mid wicket and have a mid on up. Try and not give them those easy singles, because the wickets are so good. Why not try with different field? That's what Zampa had done. He always used to have his mid on up or maybe mid off up. Trying to challenge the batsman, play with their ego, because that's where I've seen few of the sixes and boundaries that Steve Smith got. It was like slot sweep. So maybe have your deep mid wicket back and have a mid on up, because something you need to try. You cannot just go with the pattern. You need to change things. That's what I feel as a bowler. That's what I would do.
But the issue with someone like Maxwell, and that's why I'm saying it must be so difficult to bowl to someone like Steve Smith, is he will slog sweep you, and then you have an extra cover, and you have point, gully, and third man inside the circle, and then he'll reverse sweep you. Yes, and then you're like, oh, okay, then you need to keep your point back, and once you put the point back, you have to get someone in, and that's the reason I think I I doubt there's anyone in world cricket who plays the field as well as Steve Smith does, because of the array of shots, or the range of shots that he has. And that's the scary part. I mean, how do you stop him? Pragyan mentioned about stopping singles. That's very true, because he's also very Virat kind of a batsman who would initially come and play, get those singles, keep running, and once he's set, then he goes for those big shots. But the thing is, last two games he's got 162 deliveries. How do you stop that? So you say, okay, I'm going to stop the single, then he's hitting those big fours and sixes.
Big boundaries.
See, these two games, these two games are exceptional because, when he came into bat, the score was 150 for one, 140, 130 for one. And it's a good track to bat on. So that's why I'm saying when he is coming into bat, don't give him those easy singles. Let him try those shots initially. Come play those reverse sweep. Let him try that. And also, Deepa, I'll tell you, a lot of bowlers, especially in one-days, they don't bowl on middle stump because they're scared that their mid-wicket is up and long on is back, because you have to have the extra fielder in. So that's why I'm telling you, have a mid-on up, bowl, those slow deliveries, let him step out and hit you over mid-on. Because at times when the wicket is good, slog sweeping, when your fielder is not there in deep mid-wicket, it's easier than stepping out and hitting you over long on. Sorry, mid on. That is a little difficult, what I feel. So we need to try few things. It's all about when you're bowling against a very good batting lineup, you need to think little differently and do things little different, because the wickets are not assisting you. I'm talking about the spinners. So we need to see what we can do. Maybe cut down those singles, and I'll ask him to play those fancy shots early on. Let's see what he does. There are chances. The risk factor is more there. So that's what I would like to see.
Definitely a lot of positives, as well as a couple of changes that the Indian team would have to do the next match. Australia has won the series, but India definitely has a point to prove there. Very quickly, gentlemen, before we leave, any changes that you see in the lineup, Deep?
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Shardul Thakur coming in. I want to see how he does, because as I mentioned before, as I mentioned last game as well, he just brings something different. I don't know whether that's going to work or not work. I'm not too sure, but he's a different kind of a medium pacer. Maybe see him there, and the other change would be maybe Virat winning a toss.
Yeah, that we all want to see. What about you, Pragyan? Any changes in the lineup?
I think I was talking about KL Rahul coming up the order, because you have to use his form. He's batting brilliantly. That is one thing. But at the same time, this is something which is very crucial for the tour. You cannot keep Mayank out of the team, because he's going to play in the series. He's in all the three formats. So it's more important to give your player more confidence. Maybe you can give Kuldeep a go ahead, and as Deepai said, maybe a swing bowler in place of Saini. Maybe Kuldeep Yadav can come in, because Kuldeep Yadav is also part of the T20, isn't it?
That's right.
He is. He's right. He is a part of it.
Yeah. So give him some confidence.
All right. It is tricky. India is in a tricky position. But thank you so much. Thanks a lot for joining in, gentlemen. And all the best to Team India for the next match. They'll be praying for pride. So, all the best to them. Australia's won the ODI series. We're moving towards the T20 and the tests. For now, thank you so much for joining on Sports Today. And thank you so much for your time.